Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got the Dallas Cowboys are falling apart. Let's check this out.
It hasn't been the best offseason for the Cowboys.
For real.
Mike McCarthy,
I feel like they could have done a lot better, but at the same time, they got to re-sign a lot of guys.
Straight 12-5 season. No doubt the Cowboys.
Wait, 3 straight 12-5 seasons? That's crazy.
Teams in the regular season, but that hasn't meant much in the playoffs. They've won just a single playoff game in 3 years, and they fell to the Packers in the wild card round a few months ago. The lack of postseason success has been a big topic, and it's been the case for a long time now. Dallas hasn't played in a conference championship game since they last won a Super Bowl back in 1995.
Holy
the Cowboys
shit.
definitely had a new
Oh
to
gosh.
win, but it feels like it's gone, or at least it is close to over.
What I think they should do, like if they don't really, I say if they don't make it to the NFC Championship this year, Mike McCarthy should be gone, Dak should be gone. Like I feel like they should just start over from scratch, you know what I'm saying, and like draft a new quarterback in the draft next season.
Good team, I think, but the
roster that's exactly how it should be, because this is definitely make or break year for Mike McCarthy and
Prescott needing a new deal. 4 years ago, one of the biggest topics was Dak's contract. Here we are now, and it's the exact same predicament. He was really good early in his NFL career, and he's had down seasons, but for the most part, he's been a very good NFL quarterback. He's looked elite at times and underwhelming too, but he's a good QB. That's why in 2021, Jerry Jones gave him a 4-year, $160 million extension.
Damn.
There was a lot of drama around his contract, and now here we are back in 2024 talking about it again, and he's gonna get another huge bag. He's coming off of a fantastic year, arguably the best of his career, with 4,500 yards, a league-leading 36 touchdowns, and only 9 interceptions. He was legitimately
he cut down on turnovers though,
in the season,
say that,
and easily could have beaten Lamar Jackson down the stretch there. Dak Prescott's gonna get upwards of $60 million per season.
Dak Prescott is no Lamar Jackson. Let's keep that a buck right now.
He's gonna be pricey, and deservedly so. Even if he isn't a top 5 quarterback in the pros, it's not like you're gonna go find a better guy out on the street. With Dak making a lot of money, the Cowboys need to make sure the roster around him is constructed well, and hopefully a good draft will help that. Dallas had 8 picks.
I mean, they had an okay draft this year. I feel like they could have still drafted a running back, but you know, they went out and signed Zeke back.
Balanced. This whole thing.
The big focus on offense seems like it was pretty obviously the offensive line. Dallas took 3 linemen, including with their lone first-round pick. The Cowboys took Tyler Guyton, 29th overall. Guyton spent his first 2 years at TCU, only appeared in 9 games with just 1 start, so he decided to transfer to Oklahoma, and he had a good first year in Norman. He started at left tackle to start the season, eventually switched over to right tackle, and only allowed 2 sacks all year. He started at right tackle last season on a line that had lost 2023 NFL draftees Wanya Morris and Anton Harrison. In the 3rd round, Dallas took Cooper Beebe out of Kansas State. He was redshirt as a true freshman, and then he was just great in his last 3 years in college. He's been first team All Big 12 3 times.
It's my first time hearing about Cooper
Beebe. Of the year twice, and has been an All-American.
I don't really know a whole lot of offensive linemen other than the guys that went like the first round.
Thomas. He was a 5-year guy at Louisiana and was a first-year starter at left tackle last season. The 4th offensive guy Dallas took was wide receiver Ryan Flournoy. He was one of the only FCS players at the NFL Combine. He bounced around a lot in college. He started off playing 3 years at D2 Central Missouri, where he redshirted, missed some time the next season with a partially torn ACL, and then the 2020 season was canceled due to COVID. He transferred to Iowa Western Community College in 2021, and he helped them make the NJCAA National Championship. He had one offer to play D1 ball, and he took it at Southeast Missouri State FCS. He missed time in 2022 with a broken hand and still had 800 yards and 6 touchdowns and was first team All OVC. Now to the defensive picks. The Cowboys took defensive end Marshawn Kneeland out of Western Michigan in the 2nd round. Who doesn't love a good Matt guy going high? He was a 5-year guy, almost transferred to Colorado in 2022, but stuck around and was 2nd team All-MAC last season. He had 149 tackles, 12.5 sacks in his collegiate career. They did take back.
I thought he was talking about last season, but I said, hold up.
Holy-ish guys. In the 3rd round, Dallas took Maris Leofau, a linebacker out of Notre Dame, but he technically played in the ACC in 2020. He was another 5-year guy coming off of back-to-back seasons, starting every game except for when he opted out of the Sun Bowl for the draft. Last season, he had 44 tackles and 3 sacks. Dallas took a real ACC guy in the 5th round, Wake Forest cornerback Kalen Carson. He played 4 seasons in Winston-Salem.
I know about
had
Kalen Carson.
119 tackles and 3 interceptions in his career. Then the boys' last pick of the draft was defensive tackle Justin Rogers. He played at Kentucky for 3 seasons before transferring to Auburn for his last year in college, where he had 17 tackles and a sack. Luckily for the Cowboys, they were able to fill a lot of holes at the NFL draft, but they have been very quiet in free agency, something fans haven't exactly been thrilled about. Dallas couldn't have been much more quiet during free
but
agency.
like now it all makes sense why they weren't really re-signing anybody, because they have a lot of guys to re-sign, like Dak, Zach Martin, CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons. All their contracts is coming up soon, so
lot of teams
that's
got
why they
better,
didn't really
and the Cowboys were
splurge.
just kind of vibing, I guess.
But I feel like Jerry Jones shouldn't have said that they were going all in this year and just not sign anybody in free agency. I feel like that was a poor choice of words for him.
Kendricks, he was really good for the Vikings at one point and was even an All-Pro in 2019, but it's been a long time since then. He did play 15 games with 117 tackles and 3.5 sacks for the Chargers last year. The other real signing of a guy not returning was Royce Freeman. He feels like a big depth piece at running back. He started his career with over 1,000 yards over his first 2 seasons with the Broncos, and he hasn't had 1,000 yards combined since. He had 300 yards for the Rams last season. Of course, he wasn't the only running back the boys signed. Dallas signed a familiar name, Ezekiel Elliott. 1 year away, and he's back. Zeke was a fan favorite for
we already knew it wasn't going to take long for him to come back to Dallas.
And still had almost 900 yards and 12 touchdowns. He signed a 1-year deal with the Patriots last year and went on to have 600 rushing yards, 300 receiving yards, and 5 total touchdowns. Zeke was loved, and now he's back and isn't fighting for carries with Tony Pollard, who signed with the Titans. It'll be Zeke with Rico Dowdle and Deuce Vaughn. The Cowboys definitely haven't been very busy this offseason, but they do still have a pretty good roster. Dallas's offense has a lot of familiar returners. CeeDee Lamb's the really big one, coming off of an insane season. He had 135 receptions, the most in the NFL, 1,749 yards, second most, and 12 touchdowns, third most. He was unreal last season.
Yeah, him and Tyreek Hill had monster
1,000-yard seasons under his belt. The passing offense runs through him without a
Bro,
doubt.
imagine if they can't re-sign CeeDee Lamb, bro. Imagine the bag he's gonna get in free agency.
Cooks is also back, gearing up for
because they gotta pay big bags to him and Micah Parsons.
650 yards and 8 touchdowns on 54 receptions last year.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see where they stand.
But he hasn't had one since 2021 in Houston. Tight end Jake Ferguson actually had
Ferguson
more
is
usage
good.
than
I like
Cooks did
him.
last year. He had 760 yards, 5 touchdowns, 71 receptions.
This nigga likes to
Huge
hurdle people. Like, look at
in his
this
rookie
shit.
season. On the offensive line, it's mostly guys
hurdle
that have been in Dallas
master
for a
in his
minute.
bit.
Right tackle Terrence Steele, right guard Zach Martin, left guard Tyler Smith. Tyler Biadasz left in free agency to Washington, and now the Cowboys have a new starting center who started 2 games last season, Brock Hoffman. 3 years ago, I was sitting in class with Brock Hoffman at Virginia Tech. Now I'm talking about him in a YouTube video.
Oh, that's
as
sick.
the starting center for the Dallas Cowboys. What the hell? Turning to defense, there's some big names all over the defense, led, of course, by defensive end Micah Parsons. He's just unreal. DeMarcus Lawrence is opposite him, and in the secondary, you have Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, just 2 absolute interception machines who have both led the league in interceptions. Then there's Donovan Wilson and Malik Hooker at safety. The Cowboys are still a good team. I think that's obvious, but are they still great? Dallas has done well in the regular season, but I just don't think they're going to live up to past
We
seasons.
won't
The
figure it out
roster
until
isn't
the
as good.
season starts.
Dallas didn't make a ton of moves to really improve the team, and a lot of that just has to do with money. Everyone has a window to win, and the Cowboys might be close.
Yeah. What do you guys think, bro? Is the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl window closed, or do they still got a little sliver of hope left? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Turn on my post notifications to get notified whenever I drop another banger video. And without further ado, I'm out. Gang!